So what are we doing? We're just gonna authorize to not enforce section 10 of the ordinance, or to amend the ordinance?
It's neither of those. The ordinance says they got to have a plan in order to get their occupational license. The way they've been looking at it as, you gotta present a plan each and every year, but the ordinance doesn't really say that. It says you gotta have a plan to get your occupational license. I think what they're wanting is the authority to read that as they only need the plan one time in order to get their license every year. I don't think that's a change, but and it's within the discretion of the board, however y'all want to do that under the way the ordinance is present written.
Well, I don't have a problem with it, that's what works best for the solid waste department, and we need a motion for that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, I'll make that motion.
Second. I have a motion and a second to, change the plan to a one-time, it'd be a one-time, plan agreement that would not be reviewed annually.
But it would only have to be approved one time,
One time,
and that
yeah.
approval is good until there's a change.
Until it change, okay. So everybody understand the motion? All right, and I think you've also pointed out something, I think we pointed out earlier the other day, that this would save quite a bit of sending out notices.
Yes, sir, and Commissioner Moore point, I mean, it helps us, but more importantly, it helps the public and,
Yeah.
and our businesses.
Right.
Is really where it's gonna help.
Sure. All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor? All those opposed, same sign. Carried 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Blair.
We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. All right, being no further business on the agenda, I'm gonna ask Mr. Kaufman, I know he has some things he wanted to bring to our attention, we're gonna take a little bit, I'm gonna call him first under the good of the order.
Yes, sir, the number one on my list tonight is to talk a little bit about the Suncoast Toll Road that's proposed. The governor just signed, the bill the other day to authorize DOT to start, looking at the toll road and forming committees. There'll be 3 toll roads in the state of Florida, and one that would impact us would be, from Citrus County up to, Jefferson County. There really isn't an alignment at this time, but that's why we want to get involved. And I just kind of wanted to bring it to the board to get their input on it. I had been asked recently about, well, what is the county's position on this project? And I said, well, I don't know. I can't speak for the board, but for myself, anytime you have large roads like this constructed, there'll be a lot of economic development. There'll be a lot of jobs created for several years as these major roads are built. This is the first major road project in 50 years, back to the Interstate 10 and 4 that were built. So this is a huge project, and there's a lot of opportunity for economic development, and then wherever this road goes, economic development will follow it. Our road, a lot of our people are employed down at the interstate right now. Without that, there would be a little over 150 to 200 jobs that would be lost right there. So there's more people employed at our interstate interchanges than Stallmeyer's or Nestle. So growth follows roads, and so this is an opportunity. But I wanted to bring it before the board to kind of get their feelings on it before, when people ask me, well, where does the board stand on this?
And I think, I don't think the rumor either, I think pretty well known that there's probably gonna be some opposition. Right now, I have been informed that FDOT plans to bring it basically like the Florida Georgia Parkway, which would bring it up and the Caps area go into Jefferson County, but I don't think that's cast in concrete right now, or stone. And I think there's going to be some opposition in some of the big plantation areas that are currently located in Jefferson County. So that being said, I personally feel like we should get involved and try to sway it this way if there's any possible way, and that's my
Chair, I think this has been taught for a number of years.
Yep.
And with the growth that's projected to hit our state, and we got a census, next year, I think it will be, in our best interest. But the only thing I know about it right now is that the governor signed the bill. Has any studies been commissioned?
That's what part of the bill is to pull a task force or group together to start looking at the alignment. And so now is the part, if you wanna be part of it, now would be the opportunity to jump in and try to be part of it.
Well, I think we need to be a part of it.
Mr. Chairman,
I think so too.
Mr. Walter.
as we strive for economic development, I don't see how we can't be a part of it, to try to steer what growth that we can, and to be a part of it, and to help form that growth with our parameters that benefit us and benefit Madison County. So, yes, I think we should be definitely a part of it.
Another comment, I think we'll probably hear some more about this at our conference and, at the FAG conference. in
I
Orlando.
have no doubt that we will probably be here, so, but,
Yeah.
yes, I totally agree.
But I agree with Commissioner Waldron, if it's gonna affect us, we need to be part of it.
Right. Comments from other commissioners?
I just echo the other commissioners' opinion on it. We got to be at the forefront of it. You know, if we expect, economic development in our county, every opportunity we can take advantage of that and be a part of it, we need to be a part of it.
I totally agree. Thank you. Come on.
Same.
All right, I know, Mr. Coffin, I think consensus is that we're definitely on board with you on that one. I think you had something else you want to bring up.
Also wanted to, talk about the owner road, if y'all, we talked about at the last meeting about closing. We can advertise that in the paper and get it ready, for either meeting in June. But I kinda wanted to see what y'all felt, because, one meeting's at 10 o'clock, we're having it on the 10th at 10 o'clock, and the other is in the evening, the last meeting's in the evening. Did you have a feeling, when you wanted us to have the public hearing on that road closure?
I personally don't have a feeling, I'll open it to anybody else.
That's the little road and sermons
I
that we
know,
talked about?
I know which one we're talking about, yeah.
I think we probably need to do it secondly,
Second
Have it in the
if
evening.
they wanna come in the evening after 5, they can continue.
Yeah,
Okay.
evening meetings are probably better than public hearings, I have to agree with Commissioner Martin on that one.
Okay.
Did you wanna say anything about the aquifer grant, or do you want to put it on the agenda?
Well, it'll be on the agenda for the next meeting,
Okay.
yes.
All right.
And, also, you had asked about surplus properties, and Cheryl put this spreadsheet together, if you would pass that around. This is just a rough draft, she pulled this off the property appraiser site. There are 4 pages of properties, and we'll have to go through this and kinda look, there's a lot of things that are on here that are parts of right-of-ways, and some of it's the courthouse and the annex and things like that. So she and I, over the next couple of weeks, will kinda go down through here, but we wanted to kinda let you know that we were following up on what you'd asked us to do, Commissioner, and looking at these properties, and maybe we can kinda work down a list of what we feel that is surplus.
Okay, good, and I see one that could automatically come off the rec park.
Yeah, I don't think we ought to surplus that one, but we were just trying to get a list put together, of all the facilities, that we have. And, we'll certainly go through there and try to pare it down.
Right, and I realize it'll take a little time to go through all this, and I'd even require some site visits to see what's actually there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Coffin. Commissioner Moore,
Mr. Chair, I'll yield my time.
Commissioner Walter.
Yeah, I've got a couple, I know we talked a couple of meetings ago, I'm still continuing to get, calls about some restriping on some of these dark, blacktops. Just make sure that we're continuing to work toward that. And, and I'm getting quite a bit of calls from Cherry Lake Beach area. I don't know that it's being maintained to the fullest. I haven't had a chance to go look myself, but, we need to maybe get a handle on that this summer's coming. Now, I haven't been, so I'm just going by some calls I've received.
Right. On this road striping, if you would, pass those to Lonnie, and then normally, as the budget year goes on, and we see how much money we have, we do the striping. So what we could do is, as you have these roads, and Lonnie can make a list, before he does do the striping, we can bring it back to y'all to kind of prioritize that. On the Cherry Lake, I was up there the first of this week, and it looked really good. Or no, I'm sorry, it was last week, into last week. It looked really good then too, but, I think Lonnie was gonna do some tree trimming, on the road.
Yes, sir.
Did y'all have a chance to do that yet, Lonnie?
Plan to do it at the end of this week.
Yeah, we're gonna try to have it done before the weekend, but we do have some tree trimming that needs to be done, but as far as cleanliness of the site, it looked really good. There wasn't any trash. Tommy Garner, has taken down a lot of the antiquated signs that were up, so we really tried to clean it up by just getting rid of a lot of the signs. And we have posted those 2 signs, that I sent y'all pictures of, right there. We've also moved the little building. The little building is now out on, right as you're driving in, it's right there on the right. So you can see across that field now, and it's much prettier without that building stuck right there in the middle. So, the last few times I've been up there, it looked really good.
And like I said, I haven't had a chance to go.
Yeah.
I was just going by the calls, and it was from the 2 calls, but from the same family, so I'm sure it originated from the same area.
The boat, the dock, boards have been replaced on the dock. Tommy Garner and Jimbo have replaced the boards on the dock, and so, I think there was a grill that needs to be replaced, that a tree limb fell over the weekend on one of the grills, and they're gonna replace it.
They replaced that today.
Did they get it done today? Yep, so,
That's
So
one of the things that they had mentioned, but
yeah.
sure, okay.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Washer,
I don't have anything, sir.
I do want, on the striping, I would like to echo, I've got a call about your area of Captain Bowie. I'm sure you got the same one I got, or probably some of it's gotten pretty bad. So, that's what I would say. Commissioner Davis?
Nothing.
Mr. Martin?
Yes, I got one thing, maybe Brian can give us an update on the tennis courts, where we at with that?
I redid the, specifications on the lighting the other day, and so Sherilyn's putting that in with the overall bid. I do need to run it by Jeff at, Tri-County to see if that lighting that he had suggested can actually go 3-phase, cause, when I went out there and looked at our electrical panels, everything's 3-phase, so I gotta see if he can get 3-phase, that type of light that he looked at in 3-phase.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
got a concern about the transmission line. Have you heard anything else about that? The next
Nextera?
And the reason I brought that up, I heard something at the, public hearing, that the representative just contacted the commissioners whose district was gonna be touched by that proposal. But you know, we own some county, the county owns some property out of the interchange. I think everybody should have been contacted, but we need to know or make a decision on what we're gonna do about that.
They haven't really approached us on that property.
Yeah.
No, he did ask, this was, a month or so ago, he did ask that we did have that property. And he says, can we use it? And I said, well, I can't speak for the board, you'd have to come before the board. I said, but I think the board would wanna be compensated just like anybody else would wanna be compensated.
Right.
And so, he kinda left it at that. I said, but you'd have to bring a map and come before the board to be able to make that presentation.
Has anything been said about the public hearing that they're gonna schedule?
Yes, he did call last week, and I think I might have sent y'all an email late this afternoon on that. I sent sent you a copy of what he and I had talked about, and then he sent me a letter that he had sent to Leon County. It was kind of a question and answer thing that he had tried to provide some answers to Leon County. He did ask he said, we've decided not to have our open house. He said, I would like to just come to the county commission meeting. And I said, well, that was the whole purpose of having a special meeting for you to come to, you know? And I said, we were very disappointed in you not coming. He said, well, we've since decided that we don't wanna hold our own open house, we wanna have it in a basically a public or government meeting. I said,
we'll reschedule another workshop.
I said, I'll talk to the board and see what they wish to do. And whether you wanna have another special workshop, or you wanna give him 3 minutes here at the podium, or you wanna, you know, how y'all wanna handle it.
Yes, a workshop would be in order.
I think
I think workshop.
I don't care for him to come here for 3 to 5 minutes at this, but I think he needs to be in front of people that have got real concerns.
Right.
I think they need to have the opportunity to be here and ask him questions, and I think we need to have another workshop that he commits to and will be here at.
He committed to the last one.
Yeah, I know.
That's the only
We
thing.
know how that went,
Yeah.
and we know how well that went. So, I want to.
What, you know, it's y'all's pleasure, we can schedule another one if you'd like to.
I think we need to.
I think we need to schedule,
too.
that needs to be at the courthouse, and I think we need to have him commit in writing that he will be here.
Okay.
Sign in blood.
Sign triple of blood.
Y'all have a particular, time that you wanna do that, you wanna?
It'll be, it needs to be an evening meeting.
But not during the week of June the 10th.
No, not during the week, but the week of June 10th is out, and it needs to be an evening meeting. People can come to. Other than that,
I got what you're saying.
okay.
Would you like for myself and Mr. Kaufman to get together and give you guys a list of dates, cause I wanna make sure that I'm, you know, have something court or whatever may be going on.
That probably would be, that might be helpful to do that, and then send those dates to him and get him to commit in writing to come to. Well, I don't want another fiasco like we had last
Yeah,
week.
that works.
Okay. All right,
Preferably a Tuesday or Wednesday?
Tuesday probably,
How's that affect you? Well, you're gonna have to be there, I guess.
Last one was on Tuesday.
Yeah, you wouldn't really be there with you, Mr. Reed.
I wouldn't think so.
No.
They're just gonna be presenting what they intend to do.
Right.
There's not really a legal issue there.
Right.
25th of June, that gives them a month notice.
Well,
We don't have to set that
let's-
today, I know that.
yeah,
Well, the only thing is, the longer we go, you kinda want people to know the information as soon as possible.
Well, I think we need to do that, I think we need to give you and, Clerk time to look at some dates.
Okay.
See what he's got scheduled in the courtroom.
Alright.
Okay. Ms. Pickles?
Is it time?
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn?
Well, what y'all? So moved.
I'm gonna go to